as you've seen by the title, I'm in Fremantle today, so I thought I'd do a day trip from Perth to Fremantle just to see what's going on. And as you've seen, the sun's shining again, thankfully, so I've got my trunks in case I want to go for a swim. I'm just going to see what's around in Fremantle, really. Currently in a coffee shop, got a little cappuccino and eggs Benedict on the way, because I was out drinking with a hostel till 3 a.m. this morning, so slightly hungover, so just need a bit of caffeine in my system. Hopefully you've enjoyed these videos. So obviously I've had a few days in Perth that I've put all into one video, and then I've had the Rockness Island video, so I saw plenty of croppers and sort of beautiful beaches just cycled around the island. So if you do enjoy these videos, please click that like button and the subscribe button. As I said in a few videos, I'm off to Fraser Island at the end of this month for my birthday, so there's going to be a good vlog coming when I'm in Fraser Island, where I'm driving 4x4, swimming in some beautiful beaches, and just getting wine drunk. Boxes of food probably involved, so stay tuned for my channel for that. There we go, I've got my eggs Benedict and my cappuccino. Eggs Benedict on the world's biggest plate. Look at the size of the plate. But anyway, it looks beautiful. I can't wait for a proper meal. I've survived off Cole's food and Wally's food, so actually eating a proper meal is going to be lovely. Watching a bit of Life of Tom over here, but look at that. Oh, beautiful, mate. Honestly, sorted the hangover right out. So I'm just walking down the main high street, plenty of cafes and restaurants and a few pubs. I'm heading towards the beach, so we'll see what Bathers Beach is like. So we've got these really like old style buildings. Like, look at this one. That is I'm trying to see if it's got a date on, see when it was built. But beautiful. It gives me like New Orleans vibes. This one says 1889, so plenty of old buildings. Really cool. Yes, this one was built, you see at the top, 1829, Lionel Sampson and Son Limited. It's really a unique building. And then this is a newspaper place, the Fremantle Herald. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's about a 5-minute walk to Bathers Beach. See what that's like. I'd say I've got my trunk, so I could go for a cheeky old swim. Just want to see what's going down here. So Fremantle is obviously a lot smaller than Perth, so most people do what I'm doing, just come for the day. Quieter beaches than in Perth, and it's dead easy on the train. It cost me $1 to get here from Perth. It's like a 45-minute train, but it costs you $1. That's 50p, so you can't moan at the price at all. So it's a good place to go for the day. The Shipwreck Museum just there. We've got the anchors lined up, and then we've got the train crossing. Bathers Beach House, I assume that's like a pub. You can get your fish and chips, so I could have some cheeky fish and chips for lunch, but we're just about to get to the ocean now, so we'll see what sort of colour it's looking like. Hopefully it's that beautiful aqua blue, but we'll find out in a minute. There we go, mate, to the beach. You can see the tide is right in, so it's washed up all the seaweed. But we've made it. Obviously you've got all the marina over there, and then you've got a bit of the pier, so you can see the World's Smallest Lighthouse just on the horizon there. But very nice. Quite surf beaches that's beautiful, and obviously again you've got the netting around. Sharks in Perth are quite common, so you swim within the netting. I'm going to head over to that pier bit. Hopefully you can walk across right to the end, but we shall see in a few minutes. But beautiful coloured beach behind me. The public holiday here in Australia has now finished. Obviously everyone's at work. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so Fremantle's a little bit quieter than if I'd have come a few days ago. Probably why Rockness Island was pretty busy the other day when I was cycling around it. But so it's a Tuesday now, so most people are back at work, so it's a little bit quieter. It's just mostly the backpackers or people who are retired just wandering around the streets of Fremantle. You can see off in the distance just there, big freight liners. Obviously this is the main docking part in Fremantle, and then they'd head over to Perth and other parts of Australia. So you've got the infrastructure over there, the freight, and I say along fishy. I think if I lived in Perth, I'd definitely buy a bike and just do a lot of cycling. Just before where we got off the train in Fremantle, there was a cycle path which links Perth to Fremantle. So on the train it's like 40 minutes, but obviously you're stopping at the station, so it would make a nice cycle if you were to cycle from Perth to Fremantle. I say you've got the cycle path right by the ocean, so the views would be absolutely beautiful. So I'd definitely hire a bike. I don't think in Perth you need to buy a car because you've got the trains. It costs $1, so it's nice and cheap. And if you get a car where you're going to park and everything, I don't think Perth's one of those cities where you actually need a car, which is quite good. You could obviously get a bike. Just it's quite a walkable city, and then you've got the train if you want to go a bit further afield, like I've done, to get to Fremantle. So there's a lot of cities in Australia. So obviously in Melbourne, I've got a company car, but last time I lived in Melbourne, I didn't have a car and got by. Sydney, you wouldn't need a car. Gold Coast, when I lived there before, you don't need a car. So it's a lot better than England, where I'm from, obviously Leicester. You need a fucking car to get around. So nice in Australia, you've got the trains, you've got the buses, and most of the cities they have some sort of public transport that can get you from A to B, which is a lot better than in England. There we go, we made it to South Pole. You can see the beautiful green light. Not really much here, really. But we've made it. Looks a lot nicer than just being like your plain old white, and the one in the distance, probably can't see it, is red. A nice green lighthouse here. Obviously, been decommissioned donkeys ago. So I'm walking back into the Fremantle Centre now. Hopefully you can hear me because it's obviously very windy along this pier bit. Walking back into the centre, then I'll get some fish and chips while I'm here. We'll just have a little mooch round, see what else is in Perth. Let's say I've got my trunks if I want to go for a swim, find a nice beach, and we'll set up the tripod and go for a swim again. Tell me you're in Australia without telling me you're in Australia. Snakes in the dunes. So look out, guys, don't go in the sand dunes because there's bloody snakes. You know what? I've not seen a single snake since I've been in Perth. I've not seen one since I've been in Australia. I've been here a year and a half. Like, come on, mate. The consensus, everyone in Australia sees snakes and spiders every day, and I've seen a few spiders, but no snakes. Like, come on, mate, where are you at? I want to see a bloody snake from a safe distance, of course. So you've got that big building behind me is the ferry terminal, so you can get to Rockness Island from Fremantle, which was a heck of a lot cheaper than doing it from Perth. I think it was like $80 compared to $140, but then you need to factor in you have to get to Fremantle if you're living in Perth, so it's 45 minutes. So when I went to Rockness Island, I could have done it that way, or you could do it that way to save some money, but it's a lot more hassle, but it would cost you $85 and not what I paid, $140. So I'd say that you've got the big ferry terminal here, so you can get to Rockness Island, you can get to a few of the other islands near Perth from the ferry terminal, that big building behind me. I'm off to 7-Eleven to get a fizzy drink, because I say I'm slightly hungover, so water's not quite cutting it. So I'm off to find the 7-Eleven to get a Pepsi Max. I got recommended some really good pubs and bars in Fremantle, but I'm still feeling a little bit precious from last night, so I don't think I'll be going to any pubs. But there are some good pubs here, some sports bars. We've got some backpacker hostels that have bars in, so it's a good place to socialise, and cheaper beers than Perth slightly as well. Although the Perth beer prices, shadow on me there. Perth beer prices have been a lot better than Melbourne. What a surprise! I mean, I'm still paying about £6 or £7 a pint, but in Melbourne you're paying about £7 or £8 a pint, so about $16. Where last few days I've been paying maybe $13, $14 for a pint, so it's not been too bad beer-wise price. Apart from that egg Benedict, I've not actually ate out yet. It's been a lot of Coles food and Woolies food and cooking at hostels, save a bit of money, and then you don't feel as bad when you're spending more money on beers. So I can't judge the food prices compared to Melbourne or the Gold Coast, because I've had one meal out, but the beer prices are definitely cheaper. So I've only been in Fremantle for about 2 hours, and I've already seen everything. It's such a small place that I walked down the road, obviously sat on the beach and walked along the pier, and now I'm like, is there anything else to do that doesn't involve going to the pub or having a nap? I feel like I've literally done everything, so I'll probably get the train back in an hour or so. I'm meeting someone who I used to live with in Melbourne last time. She lives Mossman Park, wherever that is. So it's about 20 minutes from Perth, so I'm going to be meeting her for hopefully not after a drink. But anyway, so I'll probably be in probably be in Fremantle for like another hour, but I've done everything. I've got my Pepsi Max, and now I'm just sat taking in the sun because I've done a lot of walking the last few days. My legs are feeling it, bottom of my feet are feeling it. I don't know why I was under the impression there was a lot to do in Fremantle. I don't know if I've got my wires crossed, or I said I'm filming this on a Tuesday, so maybe on the weekend's a bit more going on. But yeah, it's very small. It's very, very small. I've done a lot of walking. I've explored all I feel like there is to see. There's obviously museums and stuff that I've not been in, but yeah, I don't know why I had an idea that there's loads to do in Fremantle. But Lincoln, who I saw yesterday, was in the Perth vlog. He goes, "You won't be in Fremantle as long as you think." Oh really? Oh, yeah, I've been there 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, I can see what you mean now. I don't know. Can't find much else to do. Suntown, Sunday. It's probably what most people are doing. So I've done enough walking around now and sitting around, so I'm going to go to grab some fish and chips for lunch at a place called Twin Fin, which is along the seafront where I walked just before heading to the Perth earlier, headed to the pier earlier. So see what Twin Fin's like. Grab some fish and chips in Fremantle. There we go, so I've ordered a 1 piece of battered fish and chips. The fish is hockey, which is a bakey fish from New Zealand. Anyway, never had a hockey fillet before, so we'll see what that's like. But I've got a lovely view of the ocean. And sun's out, what more can you wish for? So let's see if this fish and chips is any good. So here is the fish and chips. Already gets a deduction for points because these are not chip shop chips, are they? They need to be thick. They need to be fat chips. But anyway, we'll see what the fish is like. Okay, taste test. Taste test of the fish. Alright, yeah. Not bad. Not better than the cod in England, but it's alright. There we go, finished the fish and chips. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't anything to write home about. Cost about £8, $16, so about £8 for the fish and chips. But I am leaving Fremantle now. I'm getting on the train, heading back to Perth, and then there's someone who I used to live with in Melbourne who lives on the way back to Perth, so I'm going to get off the train early and meet her for hopefully a non-alcoholic beverage. But yes, I'm just walking along the train tracks now to the train station. Just check that I'm going the right way, yeah. Would I move to Fremantle if I lived in Perth? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's enough to do here, apart from drink, basically. And there's beaches, but they're not surf beaches, so you wouldn't be able to surf it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind living in Perth. Perth's quite good, but I wouldn't move to Fremantle. I don't think there's enough going on here. And also Perth, I said in the other video, is so isolated that there's nothing on your doorstep, really. So I prefer Melbourne to both of these cities, but I prefer Gold Coast to Melbourne. But yeah, Fremantle, cool place, but I don't think I could live there. I think I'd die of boredom or become an alcoholic. A bit like Byron Bay on the East Coast. There's not much to do in Byron Bay apart from surf and drink because it's very small. Same with Fremantle. I wouldn't say there's too much to do, but it was good to check out, and the train cost me $1. So it cost me 50p to get here, so I can't even moan at that. So it's a nice day. And the sun's out, so hopefully tomorrow I'll have a lovely little suntan. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to click that like button and click that subscribe button for more Australian adventures. I say the next video is going to be a really good one in Fraser Island for my birthday, so it's going to be a vlog over a few days of us driving 4x4s, drinking lots of goon, and just having a great time with Jamie. So if you like the sound of that video, then stay tuned for the channel. But thank you for the support on these last few videos of Rottnest Island, Perth, and this one for a day in Fremantle. Hopefully you've enjoyed these few videos of me checking out the west coast of Australia. But yeah, the next video is going to be great, but thank you for watching.